everybody. Wait, let me put the music
Yo.
down so you can actually hear us. There we go. Hello. We were doing it a little early this week, as you can see. We're doing the show. That's because my job, for some reason, scheduled me tomorrow. And I don't want to fight them because I'm moving soon. So it's just like, I don't want to cause drama right as I'm leaving.
Yeah, I
So we're
thought it was
doing it
just because I
today.
woke up supremely early for this week's episode. It was actually scheduled for tomorrow. I woke
Yeah,
up.
but you're
woke
here
up
early.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sleep until Wednesday night. That's the dynamic now.
Until 3 p.m. Wednesday.
Hate it so much. Oh fuck.
But yeah, so there's a few things to talk about this week, I believe, because last week was kind of taken up with me shaming my partner's PC. So now we can actually talk about things.
It hasn't registered until literally now how much of that episode we took up with shit talking your partner's PC.
It was a not insignificant amount, which is good so that it never happens again.
So wait, did we spend more than 10 minutes on anything else in that episode?
I mean, I think because like I talked about the entire trip, just a good portion of it was the computer. But you know, if you really want to know, go back and watch the previous episode.
Watch it a few times just to make sure you got it in your naga, you know?
Yeah, watch it on a quarter speed so we get more watch time.
Watch it at a really low volume when you get tired of it, but put it on repeat and put it on in the background. Put it on in a barbershop but like really fuck up the speakers so that like it's just some white noise. And so that people can focus, but they don't know what it's too woke for them.
But do that after you watch this episode.
Right. You have to do them in reverse order, like I watched the Fast and the Furious franchise. Yeah.
That sounds crazy. Anyway.
I'm not gonna get into it right now. We'll get into it some other time.
So a thing that I was very interested in, that happened during my trip, but I wasn't able to really get into it until this last week. The Sonic Unleashed recompilation. So a few fans put together this program that decompiles and then recompiles Xbox 360 games into C++ code that can run on modern machines. And so technically, while we only have Sonic Unleashed right now, as far as I know, that's been ported to the PC through this method, every Xbox 360 game can be turned into an executable file on PC now.
I'm so goddamn excited. The thing is, there's any game that I would have wanted to play back in the day. I think like there's modern equivalents to most of them, but Skate 3. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Oh my fucking god!
Yeah.
That's a big fucking one.
Sonic Unleashed also, it's one of my favorite Sonic games. Big surprise, I don't care for the nighttime levels in that game as much because it's more of a slow beat 'em up game, which is weird for Sonic. It's good. It's just not my favorite part of the game, which is maybe some of my favorite 3D Sonic levels that have been made so far. The daytime levels are amazing. I do want to go fast, and boy does Sonic Unleashed let you go fast.
And you say you're not a lesbian.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I am U-hauling soon, but shut up. But yeah, so Sonic Unleashed, one of my the Pokemon music that I'm listening to, it just keeps playing a bunch of like memes or songs that turned into memes, and it's breaking my brain a little bit.
This is why you listen on Spotify to dark ambient music to Escape/Dream 2 by Low Flag Girl.
I don't think that's the vibe of our show, but okay.
It feels right to me. It's going on in my ear last week too. It's the shit.
But yeah, so I've been loving playing Sonic Unleashed again. I got to the point of like I wanted to just completely replay it, but I wasn't really watching the cutscenes. I wasn't really like exploring the overworld, so I ended up downloading a 100% save file. And I've just been playing the daytime levels, and God, it's such a well-designed game. I love this game. If you have a legal copy of Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360,
Shit, I gotta buy Skate 3.
You can put your files onto your computer. There's a way to dump them and convert it into C++ code that you can play on the computer. A bunch of people are modding the shit out of this version now because it's so easy to. Absolutely go play Sonic Unleashed. Otherwise, so other than Skate 3, what's a Xbox 360 game you'd like to see ported? I can think of any.
So okay, I was thinking back and I'm like, what's a one that like I like? It's so because the first thing I thought of was Little Big Planet, but that's not Xbox.
No.
Then that other one's Nintendo. That's Mario. And like okay, because like okay, when I was a kid, at the time of Xbox 360. Most of what I associated with it was like when someone I knew would play like Call of Duty or Halo, and I've just never, Call of Duty has never grown on me. Halo, I could play through other means or some equivalent. Like I'm a gimmicky bitch, so the Kinect stuff always appealed to me. But I also have VR now, and so it's like. For me, it's more of a thing where I would just like go back through a list of like what are ones that other people like so much that know more about the whole catalog than me, and I just pick out names that I remember. There's probably stuff that I'll look at and go, oh, I can't believe it. I've never like, you know, it's yeah, of course I want to see that one. I just haven't seen that yet. And so yeah, Skate 3 is the one that I'd hyper focus on because it's like it's such a specific kind of game that I'm reasonably confident that I don't have a modern equivalent to. And also, just to clarify for any future pigs watching the show, I did not already download a copy of Skate 3 before I established earlier in the episode that I have not purchased one yet. This is not a thing I've done, and not a thing that I plan to do. I will say on official record, put on the internet.
I would love to see the next one be Sonic 06. Ported to PC.
Oh god. And I remember what a fucking 360 controller feels like. I remember the feel of like a chipped rubber analog stick. Oh. Yeah.
My gosh. It's like when you use it when it first came out, the 360 controller, you're like, this is the best controller ever. And now we have like vastly superior controllers.
What was the one that you recommended a little bit ago? I'm sure you'd remember. 8-Bit Do? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so I currently use the 8-Bit Do Ultimate C, I believe. I don't know if this is the 1 or the 2. I think it's the 1. But it comes with a little charging stand. It feels amazing. It has Hall effect joysticks and triggers, maybe. And for those that don't know what Hall effect means, instead of it being a more mechanical driven kind of like you're touching on a pad and it'll wear down and cause drift, it uses magnets, so they're going to last a lot longer. Absolutely wonderful little controller. Also, when I visited Liz, I ended up leaving 2 first-party Xbox controllers. So like now they have controllers.
I was gonna say
science can't explain that.
I thought I'd be the Jackie bitch, but now you've taken the reins. No, but yeah, I remember because the Oculus Rift consumer version 1, I remember it came out before the hand controllers for VR were strictly normalized, and here's where it's gonna loop around irrelevant. Wait, oh god, okay, I'm gonna get to what Owl just said in a second. But I remember they came with an Xbox One controller, first party. They had to deal with Microsoft because touch controllers weren't a thing yet, or at least not widespread yet. And I used that for several years. I think until like a couple years ago when I finally wore the thumbsticks down with Geometry Wars Retro Evolved. Is it called that? It's the one where like you're moving in all different directions and it's like a little arcade shooty, a little bit like Galaga, but not. It's hard to explain. It's fun though. I recommend it. The Steam controller. I never got to try one, but, and I know that I'm into a lot of shitty gimmicks. I understand that, but. And I remember Happy Action Theater for the Kinect, but that's another thing. The Steam controller, Owl, thank you for bringing it up. I've always loved the concept, and no one has ever made it sound less cool to me, despite its... I don't know what you're saying, poor Steve, about, if you'd like to elaborate, but... God, every problem I've ever had about a conventional gamepad, it always looked like the Steam controller looked like it answered. And I still have a feeling that it's enough that I would be satisfied by it, even though a lot of people had problems with it, because I proudly have lower standards. And oh God, I'd be so pleased.
Yeah, so I got to try it for the first time while I was visiting. I didn't want to say anything about it while I was visiting because I didn't want to like shit on your thing. But I don't like that controller at all.
Well, you love using gamepads though, like conventional ones, right?
Yeah, I use controllers a lot. I will say, like, it intrigued me. I did want to use it. I wanted to try it. It was strange. The D-pad kind of like circle is very strange. It's not very good for a lot of things, because like if you hit the corner on a D-pad, you kind of expect it to hit right and down or whatever if you're in the bottom right corner, and like it's a little finicky. It is a little hard to get it to do that naturally, unless you like know what you're doing with the controller. And like eventually I learned it, whatever. I didn't use it a lot, but I quickly picked up like, oh, this is going to be a little bit different and a little bit weird and not as easy to use. The trackpad was nice in terms of like if I had to use the mouse for something on a game, that would be very nice to have on a controller.
You don't like the implementation though, I'm guessing.
It's just not as useful as you think it might be. And the fact that it only has one thumbstick, if it had two thumbsticks with these pads above as well, that would be a little bit better. But like,
but then where would the D-pad go, you know?
Yeah, but the face buttons are also like kind of small, if I remembered correctly. Like I'm used to bigger buttons now, and they were kind of small. The joystick didn't feel as good, but I completely grant that it's an old controller now. I can imagine it felt better when it first came out.
Did you use the gyro?
And Lunar, we're talking about the Steam controller.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. There's not a lot of games that make use of gyro because Xbox doesn't have gyro.
Right. Because you can map Steam controllers for stuff like that. Because I have a feeling it would, obviously not the full experience, but feel a little bit like Pavlov, which for those who don't know, we've played. It's essentially Counter-Strike in VR, and it's like because it's a motion control essentially.
Yeah, it feels I can see it working a little bit better, but then you would have to. I think it would be a little finicky because it's not going to be like integrated gyro controls. It's going to be mapping a right stick to gyro, and that's just not going to go as well, I think. And I have played games that have gyro and right stick aiming. Splatoon is an amazing game that uses it amazingly. I don't think it would transfer unless intentionally made by the developer to work with gyro controls. And I do.
You have a good point there.
I've played gyro control aiming stuff. Zelda has it, the new ones. I've seen the Steam controller, but I hardly ever use controllers. Yeah, that's fair. I like controllers for games that I don't need to be precise in, like anything but first-person shooters. Hi, Mai.
But I have a question. So, okay, for anyone who's have you used a Steam Deck before?
I have not.
For anyone in chat who has used a Steam Deck, so you'll have an answer to this eventually. We can come back to this as well. Because if I remember rightly, the Steam Deck does have trackpads on there as well, like on both sides, I think. I wonder if it's better implemented there ergonomically.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I would love for that to be the case. I know my sister has a Steam Deck, but she's also not a huge gamer before that point. And I guess I should ask her. I'm gonna come back to this one with some homework. I'm gonna talk around with people in terms of their perspective on the trackpad. No, oh sorry. By my sister, I don't mean the one that I live with. I mean the one who went back to the country I came from. So I can't just go and steal it. Now the funny thing is she did ship it here before shipping it over to her.
You should just
so
it.
I got
Should have been like, oh, it never arrived.
It never came in. It's just that I'm sorry to tell you. I know God, that's so much money you lost.
You're gonna have to contact Steam.
Wait, okay, don't do this, anybody. But I have to ask for the sake of inquiry. So, like, if it just doesn't arrive in the mail, is Steam like super cool about it and just like sends another? I have a feeling it's too expensive for that. But also, Lego does that, and their sets are expensive.
I don't know. You know what? A topic I wasn't going to talk about because I didn't even think about writing it down. My Walmart has started locking up the Lego boxes.
Oh.
They're behind a glass case.
I mean, stop swallowing them if you don't like it. You gotta crunch first.
Fucking hate how much shit is locked up at a Walmart now.
What does it even fucking look like? Like
it's just a glass cabinet that's locked up, and you have to find an employee to open it. And you know how Walmarts are. You're not gonna get an employee to do that.
I'm gonna be overly dramatic for a second and be like, this is the most weirdly specific dystopian thing that you could feel it. I don't know what it is. It's so
fucking dumb. And it's not even dumb. Like the over $100 sets, because at least like, oh, I can kind of get it. It's like $30 sets.
Like,
it's ridiculous. And they started locking up fucking like some of the perfumes and stuff, and not just the fancy perfumes, the $5 perfumes.
I wonder, okay, because there has been a rise in, of course, in theft at grocery stores, because the economy's fucked and it's not the thieves' fault. We're not condoning anything. But I wonder if a bunch of people had the idea at one location, if not yours, where it's like, oh, they know that, like, you know, what is it? Lego sets are technically more valuable than gold per, like, for their weight or something, like per weight proportion. I don't remember the specific saying.
I think they keep their value better than even gold does.
Okay. So I wonder if there's people who have been stealing them, like, increasingly with that consideration of upselling them and like keeping the value, because it's like the economy is so fucked. I don't know. It's merely speculation. I'm talking out of my ass. I'm not an economist or whatever, but that feels like a plausible hypothesis.
Yeah, and
I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's so fucking stupid. I'm just saying it might be
their local grocery store straight up, or not local. I mean, Hy-Vee isn't necessarily local. Straight up took away the self-checkouts because of theft. I can understand that. Walmart still has them. I think they're going to start phasing them out. But like, I would rather you just put more people in work, making sure that people aren't just going to walk out the door with shit and not lock up everything, because you're going to lose sales. I think it's a stupid tactic on the store's end.
You know, Ashley, I think what we should do instead is just pay people more to live so that they don't have to steal things. I know this is a very hot take for this podcast.
Yeah.
I know that you're a cold-blooded capitalist, I understand.
Did you hear Finland has essentially eradicated homelessness?
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just I wasn't prepared to hear anything like that. What the fuck?
Yeah, there's a new study. They've been there's a program they've been doing for like over a decade or two now, that is founded on housing first solutions to homelessness. Who could have guessed giving people a place to live while they recoup it means they're not homeless. But yeah, I suggest everybody go look it up. It's a lot more it's a lot more in depth of a program than just give them a house. Right. For all of the people who are kind of skeptical about that kind of like, if you just give them a house, then why would they ever do anything? It's like, because people want to do things. People want to be independent most of the time.
Yeah. It's super rare for a person who is well maintained, including like with their health and shit, mental health included, to just want to not fucking do anything. I don't think that's normal human behavior.
I've been seeing so many posts about like the difference in news between America and European politics.
I don't even want to know.
There was one, I think this happened a while ago, but there was like a UN vote for is food a right? And the only one that voted no was America.
Right. Also,
you talk about something. I want to look up another one.
Okay, because this is just silly, I know, but like when we say like, you solved the housing problem by, oversimplified of course, by giving people housing, it only occurred to me while we're streaming this right now that we have found the inverse, now rational way to put it, with that girl in the meme who says, what is it? She says like, if you're homeless, why don't you just go and buy a house? It's like, yeah, but like not them. Don't put the responsibility on them. We found the place to put that criticism. Yeah.
Another piece of news. The United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution last week designating an International Day of Hope. The measure passed with 161 countries voting for, 4 abstentions. India, Turkey, Peru, and Paraguay just didn't vote. And one in opposition, the U.S.
Right. But
the U.S. explicitly voted against hope.
What does Hope Day look like?
I don't know. They just made it up.
Okay. I'm not criticizing it or anything. It's just like I would want to know more details as to like what that entails. It's not like I'm concerned, but I want to at least know about it.
I mean, the same that like any other kind of international day of whatever kind of looks like. Now let's put UBI into the convo. Look, we're not ready for that as a country.
We're ready for that as human beings, though.
Yeah, the country is going to shoot that down. We need to pick our time.
Ashley just like to make sure that the revolution works out, just sticks a landmine under my chair because I'm not going to shut the fuck up fast enough.
Look, like once something is shot down in the U.S., it's harder to try to get it passed again later.
Right. Right.
We need to pick the right time for it to pass, not have to have it shot down.
We got gay marriage. For
now.
Yeah, shut up, please. For the love of God. Everybody in the chat, knock on all the wood you have. We need a homosexuals.
Look, everybody. For now.
Did anybody feel that on the East Coast? Just a Richter scale. Oh God. Yeah. Speaking of Japan,
yeah, I was also going to move to Japan.
Yeah. Also, I have something entirely unrelated about Japan. It's just it's a cute little thing that I want to give as a passing point. I found out, the Japan Shrine World of VRChat?
There's a few, but yeah.
Well, there's like one that people like normally go to the most. Yeah. But the person who made like the one that people most go to is Like it's back in 2018, it was like one of the big like Black Cat tier destinations of like how many people visit it. They made a sequel literally I think late last month. The same guy,
Oh.
and it's like way higher quality and shit. It's Japan Shrine Spring.
So what
Yeah.
you're saying is I should go plug in my headset because it's definitely
And do
dead.
do an episode from inside the Spring Japan Shrine.
An episode of Thought Bubble in VR? Never again.
Well, the funny thing is, I think that I could be in VR because like I could just have Discord open as a web app, which you can now do on the Quest. So I could be in VR right now, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't feel like it. You were gonna say about
Liz
Japan though,
saying,
because you know a lot more about Japan than I do.
I wasn't really going to talk about Japan, but Liz said, I think I ruined Ashley's possibility of moving to Japan. Yeah, you did. How dare you be so lovable.
Single-handedly.
And you stopped me moving to Japan so I could move to fucking Illinois. How dare?
That's a
How
big,
dare
that's
you?
a big fucking ass. But now you can live remotely close to Gotham City, Ashley.
Yo, I could go meet the Batman.
You could go do the Christian. Bale.
I,
Christian Bale.
I try not to do Christians anymore.
Yeah. No, just you Christian Bale. Christian Bale. I got a Bale.
Is Christian Bale a Christian? I hope so.
I would like to think if someone asked him that question, you would see just the biggest Jean-Luc Picard fucking nose bridge pinch. Just like, God, fucking...
What religion is Christian
No.
Bale? Catholic.
You're not being professional, mate.
I don't know if what I just read was true, but now I'm gonna forever think that he's Catholic.
My low stakes conspiracy theory is Christian Bale is Jewish. Just like Weird Al Yankovic. I just realized if someone listens who's never heard this before, that sounds just so wildly anti-Semitic. No, it's supportive. I promise.
Keep getting asked
right,
for
I forgot.
Scientologist Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's
I got that shit.
Scientology.
I recently, well, I didn't know it was Scientology, but I got one for Chris Pratt, like leading a prayer thing, and he like, so it was like a organized, it was some kind of organized prayer thing. I don't remember them getting super specific about it beyond the community element, but he also said that he's doing it with like Mark Wahlberg, but like Mark Wahlberg wasn't in the ad for some reason. But yeah, it just felt really weird. It's a way that I've never seen Chris Pratt before, and it felt as uncomfortable as you would think. This man calmly just saying it right into the camera, sitting in a chair.
I really
Yeah, there
like
are a
that
lot
I
of actors
googled Chris Pratt Scientology, and the first result is a Reddit post saying, "Is there really any proof of Chris Pratt's homophobia?" It's like, that's not even the question I asked.
And then there's a comment with more upvotes than the post that says, "Yes, and here are 9 sources for that." Yeah. I know that not to turn into like a fucking gossip podcast, but I know the lady from fucking Handmaid's Tale and the Invisible Man. Yeah, the Invisible Man, the newer one. Apparently she's a Scientologist. Anyone can fact check that if they'd like to, if I'm wrong about that one. I don't remember where I found that.
Next thing we know, Patrick Stewart's going to be a Scientologist.
Don't you fucking dare. But I will fight the universe on that one. No, but the thing, so okay, in my little, we're gonna give a little behind the scenes look here. In my setup here, I always make sure to have a search like panel thing for like the tab separations I have, notes, then stream chat, then DuckDuckGo. And I always don't use the search function because I don't want to be too distracted to talk or listen, but it's just there like theoretically in case I want to back up what I say, but I'm never going to use it. I feel
Yeah, I look
important.
shit up all of the time during this show. If y'all could
like I
hear my
should do it.
keyboard, it's like constantly looking shit up.
I remember for like several episodes on end back when I was still using Arc, I had acetone. Just searched acetone in the fucking tab group, and I'm like, I don't remember what that was about, and just put a bad taste in my mouth because acetone tastes bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest drinking it.
Why was I gonna type, is Rebecca Black a Scientologist? I highly don't think so. I
The
recently saw
lowest
the
stake
fucking
celebrity.
It just doesn't feel like she like, because I feel like, okay, I feel like a super rich and famous celebrity would be more incentivized for that, because then you can kind of take the PR hit, whereas like she's just kind of doing her thing. Because I recently saw her fucking what's the last meals episode, Mythical Kitchen. She was great in that. Turns out she's gay. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Oh, there's not a lot of information on her religion. Why do I care?
None of the jokes that came up in my head do I want to, did I, no. Anyway, so I wondered about your second topic.
So
Or do we want to cover the second thing in the title instead?
So wait, click on the note that you think is my second one right now. Is it this one or this one?
It's
Okay.
this one.
So
Is that like four down for you?
Well, no, it's because I had another note above it, and I didn't know if you were going by like when I had my full list or after I deleted.
You know what? You go for whatever it is you feel like, and prompt me whenever you want.
Let me go to my story bookmark. So there's apparently a Monty Python TTRPG.
Mhm.
I don't really know a lot about it. Apparently from the review that I read, it just came up on my RSS feed from Polygon. It's a Monty Python, but I didn't really want to talk about it as much as I wanted to ask what kind of other media would you want TTRPG-ified like Monty Python?
Can you remind me what a TTRPG is? Because it sounds so
Dungeons and Dragons.
Familiar. Oh,
tabletop RPG.
Tabletop role playing. Yeah. Okay. So, fuck. Oh my god. Well, firstly, I don't even have. Okay. So, when I was so curious about that note, I didn't even remember what a TTRPG is. So now it's just freshly coming into my mind. What the fuck is a goddamn Monty Python TTRPG? But, God, what franchise would I want to try? This feels a lot like when we had that. This was not on air, but I was like, ooh, what other franchises would have a fun time with a many worlds theory multiverse equivalent? And like I brought up a few that you're like, no, but this wouldn't functionally work and it wouldn't be anything fun. And I'm like, fuck you, I think it'd be fun and tacky and shit. It'd be cool. You're like, no. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so the first thing that sprang to mind is Back to the Future, just because why not? I think it's rife for trying out new ideas with it, just out of it being it. I don't really have a further explanation for that one. I think, well, Doctor Who already has one. Okay, I'm gonna say a revised Doctor Who one, because I think the existing one could use some tweaking. Because I want to loop everything into Doctor Who. Do you want, oh, okay. Because I have no idea what this would look like, and I like this in a different medium, and I think it'd be a fun challenge for someone who knows how to make a good TTRPG. A racing game.
Yeah, I've actually thought about doing a racing campaign in some TTRPG space. I just don't know how to do it very well. That has been a thing I've thought about doing before.
Because like
my unfun answer is to make original properties. Yeah, but like, how fun would it be to do a TTRPG of Naked Gun? Like, come on.
You always pull out the one that I'm like, God damn it, I can't believe I didn't think of that. That'd be amazing. Oh, wait. We got one. Oh, this would be great. Oh, Addams Family. Like,
yes.
Or Beetlejuice, something like a kooky gothic. Like I feel like I'm bathing in the idea. This is great. Oh, this is beautiful. Naked
some
Gun,
willing
Addams
subjects
Family
to
of Beetlejuice.
experiment on. I will. There will be enough people in the house for a full D&D party. No, because I'm gonna learn the Star Trek RPG, but none of y'all know Star Trek, so it wouldn't even be as fun.
I also didn't know Star Trek when we did the fucking.
Yeah, and like, do you know how much of a headache that was for me?
I'm sure it was. You eat shit, Dungeon Master. But
Especially when
that was
everything you ever wanted to do was blame Q for doing things that he had nothing to do with.
Because he could. Okay, I want to say in the series of Star Trek, the television series, we could just let it. We could just let it like take us on a ride, and like whatever the functions of Q are is not up to us to. We can speculate if we want, but it's up for the plot to take us with us. But if you're interacting with a Star Trek world where Q is not only a thing that exists, but also someone that is going to interact with real people who have real thoughts and are not fictional characters. Yeah, I'm sorry. If he's such an undefined, omnipotent fucking creature, I am going to have every skepticism that he wasn't involved in everything. That's because there's no limitations on that, and so it brings everything up to question. And also distrust because he's a kooky guy.
It's understandable, but when I give you the fucking answer and you're like, this is still probably Q. I remember having to have Q pop up and tell you out of a game, essentially, I'm not doing this multiple times.
I have a feeling.
I gave you the answer. I made one of the characters meet like an alternate universe version of their own mother. And the mother's just like, yes, I'm the one doing this, but it's for a good reason, and try to explain it. And then y'all get back in the group together and are like, oh yeah, it's probably Q. What do you mean? You met the bad guy.
But it'd be such an elaborate fucking hoodwink. It'd be such a 60 chess thing to do. You gotta understand.
I want, what I really would like is for everybody involved to just think, if it is Q, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? What kind of story would that be?
So, yes, if you introduce Q, that brings that question, I think, naturally. If Q is a character you interact with, then it's like, what do I do at that point? It feels like and frankly, that's the skepticism I've had about how well Q even works in the series, because it's like I kind of just got to go with it. But if I'm like thinking seriously about it, I'm like, oh, he brings everything into question in this thing I'm watching. You know?
Yes, the only time you interacted with Q is when he told you to start the adventure.
And
you interacted with him once over 5 sessions.
But him interacting at all, him existing as a thing that like comes in direct contact with us, that opens up, that the implication opens up everything. Maybe I'm just a bad person to have in a campaign because I'm gonna question things that shouldn't be questioned. For the sake of fun.
Don't worry, that is every single person playing a TTRPG.
Great.
They will question things that don't need to be questioned. There's a reason there's a meme of a party comes up to a door and they do everything to try to open it except to see if it's unlocked.
Oh my, okay, I don't know if this was meant to reference something like that, but, and yes, I'm gonna bring another Doctor Who thing in. I was just rewatching the 50th anniversary recently, Day of the Doctor. And literally, what you just said exactly is a whole scene in it. It's a whole little bit that they do to a T, even down to like how that stuff off. You know, those campaigns often take place in medieval atmospheres. This was in Victorian England. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I understand it. It's part of being a DM is to be frustrated with your party, but also like, I don't know what kind of story y'all thought I was weaving if it was just going to be Q at the end. That's like it was all a dream.
Yeah, it's like looking back, yeah, no, it's like I trust you to make a better story than that, but I also can't think of it as like a great story skill thing if I'm focused on the story. Steve, have you seen the new Doctor? I've seen a few episodes, but it still didn't grab me enough to watch regularly, Owl says. And yes, and I love him. I don't love every episode like S tier or anything, but I hope it continues like that because I like the high budget. I like how pretty it makes everything, and I like Ncuti Gatwa's attitude. I didn't like how little of it Bernard Cribbins was in, but that wasn't in everybody's control because he died. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to more of it. I know there's not a lot you can really say about this, but I don't like it's only available on Disney Plus when we got so many gripes with Disney. But yeah, no, it's great and I love it so much. Wait, I have a fucking bone to pick. Murray Gold came back to do the soundtrack, and that's great. That's wonderful. I love it. Great. But it's been over a fucking year, I think. Maybe it's been just about a year since the first season of... It's more than a year since the fucking specials that introduced this new era, and still the only soundtrack that's been released on any kind of streaming anything for it, like any Murray Gold since the fucking Moffat era, the only one has been the fucking Goblin song from the Christmas special from way back. Yeah, I'm so upset about it because it sounds so good and it makes me upset. It makes me mad. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have not watched any of it. I remember looking into doing a Doctor Who RPG campaign, but just nah.
It doesn't feel like your thing. It feels like any version of it that would be more your thing. It just would closer and closer resemble Star Trek.
Yeah, I think there's like interesting stuff in the world of Doctor Who, but I would essentially just be using the world and not really the aesthetics of everything.
You'd be Torchwood instead, not Doctor Who. I
can
like
definitely do a
better for you.
Torchwood RPG. I wonder if they have like a set just for that, because I know they have a ton of books for Doctor Who.
I would be greatly unsurprised if they tried it for Torchwood at least one. But yeah, also just as a because Owl reacted to the soundtrack bit, I want to give a really quick notice to a new Alan Silvestri release, The Electric State, for the Netflix movie The Electric State. It's a really good score. There's no motifs in it that I think are super recognizable, but it does sound very nice. It's, I think, good for ambient listening. It's a little bit like Infinity War but calmer, which, that was also Alan Silvestri. It's from a Chris Pratt production, but I don't think it has anything to do with the score. So if you don't like him, I don't think it's, Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, we can move on from that. I just wanted to give that little review, tiny.
What I should do is just make a RPG series based on the book that I was gonna write, so that I don't have to write the book.
That's a genuinely phenomenal idea, and I would love to be part of it if you'd have me.
I mean, I definitely did start an outline for an RPG version of it, but it was going to be like a separate universe type thing.
It's gonna be many worlds there.
I have planned out the characters pretty far. I just don't like writing dialogue, so I don't write it. I just have beats of where I want the story. Yeah, exactly. That's what RPGs are for.
Right. Then turn that into a book. I'm cool with it. Record it, dictate it. You're good.
All right. So, do you want to go on about your YouTube conspiracy?
So, I have noticed recently that YouTube does not have a friend system anymore, which that's fine. It's not super relevant to this, but it's relevant because that would make this make more sense. But I've noticed that people that I know are finding each other more often in YouTube comment sections when they comment on stuff. And it's not because it's not even just, oh, we watch the same stuff, so we find comments from our friends. But it's also like we don't have to scroll super long to find it usually. A few of my friends have found me. I have found my friends less often, weirdly. I think I have maybe more of a detached taste in videos. But I've noticed, especially in some alt space dev circles, there's like a couple. I know Ben's noticed me like a few times, and NA. When I say alt space dev, I don't mean people who worked for it. I mean people who are in the enthusiast circle. But I don't follow my friends on YouTube because they don't upload anything that I know of. Except for Ashley. Ashley I'm subscribed to, but I never find her in YouTube comments. I don't feel like you do YouTube comment.
I'll do one every few months.
I comment on stuff if I feel anything about it or have something to say. Like, I used to never fucking do it, and now I do it if I give a shit at all, really.
I'll do it if it's like the video of somebody I kind of know.
Yeah, I felt weirdly I'll avoid doing it if it's like something like ASMR, because I feel like that's.
Then you're being.
I feel
loud.
like that's somewhere you.
You gotta be quiet.
Yeah, it's like, because. Okay, this is gonna sound weird saying it out loud. I'm just gonna bite the bullet. I feel like watching ASMR is like. How do I put it? You're in a more like intimate, vulnerable state when you watch ASMR. So it's like finding someone you know there. I feel like that's less of it because ASMR feels like a thing. And like it's highlighting feeling alone, but in a good way and in a comfortable, soothing way. And so if you look in the comments and you don't just see random people going, hey, this is a great one, but you see someone you personally know, it's like. I guess I don't know how to put it. It just feels weird. Like, I guess it's like if
you're
you
not supposed to be here.
Right. It's like if you. The closest comparison I can think of. I'm just gonna make this sound weirder and weirder, and I'm okay with that. Let's say if you slept in a bed that was like in a row with a bunch of other beds of people you don't know, and that was a normal thing. But then, like, you were in a new location with that, and, like, it was normal to keep switching locations. And one of those beds that it slept in is you're seeing that it's someone you know sleeping in a bed. You're sleeping in a bed over here. That's, like, not a thing you usually do with someone you're friends with.
It's like seeing a teacher at the grocery store.
I wanted to say that, but I thought making a school comparison would sound weird. I feel like everybody that's what I was trying to say. But it's like I thought it would sound even weirder to put it like that.
Orphanage ass description there, Steve. Yeah, you're just like.
I said it would sound weird. I'm not an orphan. I want to make that clear. I want to put it on record. That might make it weirder, actually, to say that I'm not an orphan.
The one that everyone understands immediately that has to pertain to school. That one would be too weird. But let me make this really weird scenario that's never happened in the history of forever.
Just no, because it's like then I'm thinking of my friend as a teacher, and that feels like the comparison, and I'm like, no, it's not like that. That's why I avoided it. Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to avoid, Liz. That kind of assumption.
No, have y'all ever read porn comments? They're amazing. I love porn comments.
They are very. Listen, they're on. I especially on specific popular sites that we're not going to reference here because it's fucking YouTube. I like it's weirdly supportive usually, like outside of the ones you expect.
I just remembered.
Yes,
that
you're correct.
I just remembered it was sometime last week. Should I say this? I don't even know if I should say this. But me and Steve were just watching porn.
I was like, I didn't know what you were talking. I had zoned out just long enough to not know what you were talking about until you had said, "Should I say this?" And then I just like clicked back the rest of your sentence, like it fed back into the cache in my mind. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure."
Yeah, so we were just watching some porn, and it was like the genre was like gamer fucked while gaming or whatever, and it was me trying to figure out which game they were playing in the porno. And surprisingly, they
remember-
do have like mostly it's real games. Mostly it's videos of real games. They're not actually playing, which sucks.
Which
But
for intuitive for production shit, I'd be like that. If I was doing it, I'd probably use a YouTube video as well. That's a pretty good trick.
no, it needs to be real.
You're trying to Martin Scorsese.
You have
I'm
to
just saying that it needs
lose
to work.
rank in this game because you're getting fucked so hard.
'Cause if the production functions, then it's like, oh, you want you want it to not even be noticed that they're not using the controller anymore. These to just looking normal on the TV, so you don't think about the change. And like, I could see that approach.
No, I think it like I'm not really a like big porn watcher. But like I feel like it would be an enticing thing to have that moment of, oh, they're getting fucked so hard that they've stopped playing the game. And so the game is just still on their screen. I think that
Narratively,
would be a
works
fun moment.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's for two different kind of watchers, because it's like, I think there's one where it's like they don't want to, like, they want to think that this is happening in its own isolated bubble, so the game continuing as per usual actually could be, it could be like a function of it, depending on the vision that they go for. But I agree, it makes more narrative sense and feels more immersive when the game is completely fucked because they're getting fucked. But also the thing I most specifically
like they
remembered
lose in
about that
Fortnite.
the thing I most why Fortnite?
Because like 5 of the videos we watched were them playing Fortnite. What do you mean?
I didn't even
You were
remember
there.
that. But it was there. No, the thing I remembered most about it was like when it would get into a close up of what you'd watch the video for. When it would get like just a hyper close up, you would get into a really genuine sound. Get the fuck out of the way! God damn it! Like, even if it's,
I was really mad when like they would cut to the lady's tits or whatever, and I'm just like, put the game back on.
I'm just like, that's the first time you've ever been mad about that.
It's true.
Yeah. So this is the kind of friendship that we have behind the scenes.
Yeah, after every episode, we just watch porn. This is an episode of all time, I think.
This really is. Oh my god, and I remember during it, it's like for the first time in the whole day, I think, or at least in several hours, my partner, he texted me, oh hey, what you doing? And like, I don't like, it's not like I feel like hiding it from him, because why would I? But it's also, how the fuck do you explain this? And I like went through that for a solid 15 minutes. In my head, just going, how do I phrase this that it sounds believable, even though he knows I do weird shit anyway, so this sounds believable anyway. It's like, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So yeah,
It has to be
it was
something else to
very
make fun
funny just being like, oh yeah, we're just watching porn.
Yeah, what's up? And he's gay, and he's like, what if I mean, can I join?
Hey, can I join?
I think he would have been, firstly, I think he would have been disgusted by it. I didn't tell him about that part, because it's like he, and I quote, finds women sexually repulsive. He's a gay man, whatever. But it feels really funny to have somebody off to the side that knows that that's happening, but they're just like, I don't know, playing fucking phone game number 19 and next to us.
So anyway, on to our last topic.
Yes. What's up?
I want to talk about the Nintendo Music app. And
I'm
I don't
curious.
have too much to say about it. I like it.
Really?
I wish it didn't need a Nintendo Online subscription to use it. That kind of sucks. Okay.
So I was trying to, I was drinking water and I tried to say fuck.
The fuck?
One second. I was trying to say fuck. As in, like I was trying to say a reactionary fuck, but I was drinking water. But I wanted the timing to be right. So like,
You just started drowning. So yeah,
Anyway,
every week or
Nintendo Music
so,
app.
Yeah, Nintendo has a music app. It's called Nintendo Music. Um,
Yo.
Also we need to get you on our Nintendo Online. Yeah, I should probably do that to save some money. Because I think I have like the expansion pack too, so I'm paying more per year.
If Nintendo Music had a free version, like I'll sit through some ads in order to listen to the fucking Super Mario Galaxy 2 soundtrack on my phone.
I wonder if they even have that. Let me see.
If they
'Cause,
have
like,
one, then
They don't have
pronto.
every game yet. They add it around every week or so. They add some more.
Add Super
How the
Mario
fuck do I
Galaxy 2 or
search
we
by-
fucking riot.
How do I look?
I didn't realize
search
my
by
phone
game
wasn't
title.
muted.
There we go. Let's see.
I
They
accidentally
have the
clicked on
original,
YouTube instead
not
of Google
two.
Play. Yeah.
So right
the
now
original?
they have from the Nintendo Switch library, its biggest section: Mario Wonder, Pikmin 4, Metroid Prime Remastered, Pokemon games, Splatoon 3, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Kirby Star Allies, Animal Crossing, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, and Splatoon 2. From the Wii U, they have Breath of the Wild. I don't even know if that is a different soundtrack to the Switch version, but okay. And the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8, I don't know if that's a different soundtrack either. They have the Street Pass Me Plaza music from the 3DS. They have Mario Galaxy, Wii Sports, and the Wii channels. They have the Tomodachi Collection music on the Nintendo DS, Brain Age, and Nintendogs. They have the GameCube Metroid Prime and the Wind Waker.
Insane.
They have Fire Emblem, the Blazing Blade from Game Boy Advance, and Golden Sun from Game Boy Advance. Ocarina of Time, F-Zero X, Star Fox 64, Wave Race 64, and Super Mario 64 for the 64. That was a lot of 64. For the Super Nintendo, they have Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, Super Mario Kart, A Link to the Past, Mario World, and Yoshi's Island. They have Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy and Dr. Mario. And of course, they have all of the original 3 Mario games, plus Metroid for the NES.
The ones that I'd probably, if I had the chance, like if this was on Spotify, like let's say, the ones that I would probably slap into a playlist are a handful from Animal Crossing New Horizons, maybe one from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I would check out the Splatoon ones. I don't know them well enough. Super Mario Odyssey,
They're
I already
very good
have one from that.
soundtracks.
Yeah, Super Mario Wonder I'd give a look to. Breath of the Wild, I'd probably save a few of those. Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, I'd wish it was 2, but I'd still give it a shot. Skyward Sword, yeah.
I mean,
Wii channels,
the original Mario
yes.
Galaxy's OST is better than 2, but
Oh, is it?
it's
Which one was
fully
the orchestra?
orchestrated. The first one.
Oh,
The second one is mainly remixes.
I thought that the second one was the orchestra one. Now
No, the
whoa,
first
okay, now
one.
I'm flipped. I'm completely flipped. Super Mario
Yeah.
Galaxy's there. I'm
I was
good. I'm
like, I don't
solid.
know anyone who's like diehard for Galaxy 2's soundtrack.
Damn.
I
Well,
wasn't
now
gonna
I'm a
complain.
happier man. But yeah, Wii Sports
another-
and the Wii. Yeah.
Mhm. Another cool thing that
Well, I
the
was-
app does
Go ahead.
is it gives you playlists based on like characters, and so there's one based on Arceus, which is a lot of Pokemon Legends Arceus music. There's some for like different moods. There's the Mario series stuff, battle music, the ultimate choice. I don't know what this means. It's just a bunch of Kirby music, it looks like. Galaxy Tour, so a bunch of Galaxy music. Yeah, so some cool stuff like that. Also, when you start playing a song, you can extend it to 15, 30, or 60-minute intervals.
Whoa.
Does the app learn my preference? I don't know. I don't think there's enough selection of songs for it to really matter if it does. Like, there's a good amount of
I
music, but like, it's Nintendo music. A lot of it is just kind of the same vibes.
It's like it is to Spotify what Dropout is to Netflix. It feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to
But yeah, they
say
have like
there's a
powering up moods, so it's a bunch of like high energy beats, break time, good night, party music. So there's a lot of different collections.
there is a solid chance that I would put um if given just like keys to the castle of the whole collection, um we like a whole ambient playlist for just Wii channels, Wii Sports, Tamagotchi, Animal Crossing, and fuck it, throw in Brain Age. I feel like those all have a cohesive enough vibe together in my head that like they would work really well as their own independent playlist.
Yeah, I mean, you can make your own playlists as well. It is just like a normal music app. They made some kind of update recently, and I don't really know what it was, but like it was on a bunch of Nintendo reporting websites was like, it added this really cool feature that I don't know what the fuck it is. So
Yeah, I'm just glad that we can officially listen to Nintendo shit outside of Japan now. Because at least according to my partner, it was like only available in Japan officially for a while. And now it's in this app, and it makes me happy. It makes me giddy. It's just I wish that it wasn't its own separate thing. That's a little shit, but yeah.
yeah. Okay, so wait, I found an article. Automatic volume adjustment option is what they added recently.
Ooh, that's good shit.
So good. I like the Nintendo app. It's really good when like I don't really want to listen to anything, but my tinnitus or something is acting up. And my tinnitus like is much more tolerable when I have some noise going on, but I don't really like white noise.
I'm always listening to like rain and shit, like a specific kind from my noise, and that helps me to not notice it.
I can't do it. I can't do rain like that. I do rain when I study things, but if I like just want
That's
to be
fair.
like scrolling Twitter or something,
To be
that's
fair,
a
it's not
different.
tapping on a window. It's like more just like it in nature, and that works
Yeah.
for me. Because if it's on a window, that's fucking distracting. That's it maybe sleep if that, but that's it. I am curious.
So,
I want to
like,
ask you a
putting
tinnitus
on
question.
some like,
Like I've noticed that for me, if I get like later in the day, if I'm like up for a little too long and I feel like really fatigued, then my tinnitus gets notably worse for that period of time. Does that happen for you?
not really. It will happen the worst if I've had like a really tense neck for the day.
Oh. Okay.
And then it's a rumbling instead of like the higher pitched kind of whine.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, that sucks. That's when I like absolutely have to have like headphones on to drown that out.
That feels like the anti ASMR. That feels like if ASMR good thing, which it is what you make it, but let's just say for the sake of argument, that feels like the Wario for ASMR.
Yeah, no,
Feels
it
horrible.
sucks. When the rumbling happens, it's like, oh my god, I want to rip my ears out.
Yeah. The sound to make your head hurt more. Oh yeah. Especially like okay. Okay, as you can hear, I've been making a better habit out of hydrating in recent times. But for a good while I didn't hydrate enough. And sometimes, like, just forgetting to drink water would get me to a point where, like, I'm doing, like, the squinty eye thing, and, like, there's that sound that happens in my head. It's not, like, a sound, but it feels like almost a rumble, like maybe the tinnitus you're talking about when that happens. And, yes, drink water, everybody. I've been constantly, you heard me, like, 20 minutes ago do the fucking gargle.
Don't drown.
Don't drown, but do gargle. I recommend that. Gargle and swish. But I
Gargle these nuts.
yeah. Gargoyle these nuts. Just turn them into stone.
But
Yeah,
yes,
but that's about
your
it.
fucked up ears.
Yeah, my fucked up ears. Yeah, everybody, let's all take a shot of water together. I'm gonna 10 just to
God,
get something.
There was a video I saw recently of some girl that was absolutely fucking plastered from drinking alcohol, and their friends just filled up a shot glass with water and was like, "How's that?" And they're like, "It was fucking amazing." And they're like, "That's how we know you're gone, because that was just water." And she's like, "You bitch."
But also, water is fucking amazing. Hail hydrate, folks. Am I right?
Whoa, we're cutting that.
T with a T. Hydrate.
Whoa. Yet another Steve falling to Hydra.
Shut the fuck up. Although it's a fun parallel, but shut up. No. Hail hydrate.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to leave everybody on as we come to the close today? Thank you all for coming in, by the way. And there you have it.